Day and the Instagram is trying to let you guys know that I'm going live. Hi everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. Did you let everyone know that we're having a very important live today? It's about shadow work. I'm also going live on, where am I live? On YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So you guys can join me from any platforms. Welcome, everybody. So we have a very important topic, shadow works. And as I was meditating today on it, it came to me that we might not be able to cover the whole thing in one live. So, what do you think, guys? We might have to continue on this topic for another live, or maybe other healers, shamans, coaches, psychologists like to join me on my future live, if not today, to collaborate more on this topic. Tell me where you guys are joining me from, and also, have you faced your shadows? Why are shadows so scary and evil and we don't want to face it? Today, hi Nafis, hi everyone. Okay, let me open my chat also on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn from Duhok. Where's Duhok? Welcome. Where is Duhok? Where you guys are joining me from? Come on now, fast. Where are you joining me from? And have you worked on your shadows? Yes, it is indeed very deep topic. And shadow work is not something that we probably work for a couple of weeks and we think, oh, we have from Telegram. No, honey, I mean from what city or country? UK, Turkey, Los Angeles, Golden Underline Light from LA, Tehran, Iceland, welcome, Iran, okay, Canada, cool. Sometimes we don't know shadows. That's very true. Australia, welcome, Tibia. Canada, welcome. Namaste, darling. Namaste, Lida. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Where else? Where else are you guys joining me from? Namaste. Hello, iPad 61. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to give you guys Sacramento. Ipsa, welcome, lovey. Namaste. Yes. I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes. Mariam from London, welcome. I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes to join me. And then I start, and we're going to get really, really, really deep today. Happy Thursday, lovey. Happy Thursday. Yes, I love you too. I love you all. And this is my ego talking. My ego is sending you love. Can you believe that? Is it even possible, guys, for us to love from ego? I miss you too, honey. I miss you too. You wanted to be with me? You wish you were with me? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But anyway, thank you. Hi, Lovey. Welcome. Love you so much, Lida. You are the sweetest soul on this planet. Am I your lovely angel? Well, you could be a lovely angel to a lot of other people and don't even know it. So it's 10:05. By the way, guys, for those of you who are Farsi speakers, I'm doing this live tomorrow at 10 a.m. from my other Instagram, sudabe.burnett. If you haven't followed that page, please do so. It's going to be in Farsi, same topic, shadow work, and it's going to be the same material basically. Will I marry you living? No, I'm already taken. So I'm already taken. I shall not be marrying. That's not my intention. But I would love you to be with me fully present here right now. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. Are you all ready? Be all centered and grounded. If we're not, let's start by taking a few deep. I'm not taking Sahar. Okay. Sometimes you just have to say this thing. Okay. Let's concentrate. Let's get into it, guys. Shadow works. What is shadow? Or what are shadows? Why are we so afraid of them? And why we are not willingly going to face our shadows? Now, we all know that Carl Jung was the first psychologist who brought this to the Western world, shadows and all aspects of shadows. So the definition by Carl Jung was unconscious part of our personalities that was disowned. We didn't want to own it. Therefore, we decided to push it under the rug, right? But with the way I view shadow works, it's different because I'm looking at it from a shamanism. I think that shadow work has been practiced by shamans all over the world for thousands of years and is nothing new to shamanism, how they have helped us to face our shadows, be okay with it, and deal with them. So basically, let's look at it from a shamanism part. Shamans believe that shadows are not solely created in the mind. And if we want to work on our shadows only from the mind, we're going to miss a lot of stuff. We're not going to be able to truly get deep into all parts and aspects of our shadows. Mind and ego is a part of it, right? But also, according to shamanism, we have 7 main chakras, and the chakras are, we can say, each individually work on themselves, and each chakras could be its own mind working individually, and then the combination of each chakras, if we start from the lower part, root chakra, sacral chakra, heart chakra, third eye chakra, throat chakras, and crown chakras, they all individually working on different aspects of us humans. And then the combination is that what shadows are being created in which individual chakras. And by working on our chakras, we can remove and release all of this part. Shamans also believe in our past lives and multiple reincarnations. So, according to shamans, some part of our shadows might not be created at this lifetime, but because we all have a soul blueprints, what we can call also the Akashic records, where our soul print is all being printed there. And the Akashic record doesn't just belong to one lifetime, but in many, many and multiple lifetimes. So I could be bringing a lot of stuff from my previous past lives where I didn't really get into it. I wasn't able to work on it and release it. So the soul will choose to bring that aspect, that shadow, in this lifetime for me to have another chance to get into it and work on it now at this time and this lifetime. So the soul does that on purpose for us to, in order for me to become complete and whole as a soul, I need to work on my shadows. So, past life, I'm going to get more into it to see why some part of our shadows are not just created in this lifetime, but I have brought it from previous lives. That's why, if we want to just look at it through the psychology and we want to only work on it from the mental and emotional part, we might not really get deep into it. So where and how those shadows are being created? Now, this is something that's mutual from psychology point and also shamanism. As you all know, I have always put a lot of emphasis on childhood and specifically the first 7 years of our childhood. Because as a child, we don't really have any agenda of who we are. And especially before age 2, we are basically using the energy field of our parents, mostly our mother, because we grow in our mother's womb, and then later on we are very close to our mothers and be using the same energy space with our mother. So basically, whatever beliefs or however our mother is functioning mentally and psychologically and emotionally, since we are sharing the same space, we kind of believe that whatever our mother is thinking or feeling, that's how we think and we feel. And then, as you know, after age 2, the ego start separating itself from everything else. And then individually, the mind and ego start interpret whatever is happening. So the shadow starts when our parents or caregiver are starting to project whatever their belief or however they look at the reality through their lens and through their consciousness, the parents are projecting that into a child. Because as children, we are whole and we are complete. We are not so much into gender. I'm a girl or I'm a boy. We are not so much into good or bad, right or wrong. So basically, as children, we are really practicing yin and yang, feminine and masculine in a whole balance until our parents or caregivers start to interfere and change our projection. And then this is where it starts, and I'm giving you an example. A little boy is very intuitive. He's very well in touch with his feminine energy, feeling his emotions and being very sensitive. And when this little boy gets hurt, he's starting to cry. And then the mother or the father or the parents are going to tell him, oh, stop that. Boys don't cry. Stop being like a girl. You have to be stronger. So what happens at this crucial moment is that for the first time, the parents are projecting their old beliefs that guys should be acting and behaving a certain ways and boys should be acting and behaving a certain way. This is the first time the child feels however he is feeling is wrong, and he shouldn't be emotional or sensitive. So when he gets this message, what does he do? By being wrong, his shadow start to be created. And the boy, since the parents are telling him this is the wrong way to be, the boy learns eventually to shut down his emotional body, and the boy then will eventually shut down his heart chakra. He's going to go through this shadow that's creating that it is not safe or it is not right for me to be emotional and be feeling. So he's walking through his life, and then because whatever shadow is being created will not go away until we get the courage to face it and know it and feel it, then we're going to deal with that. We're going to constantly run into relationships that are meaningless. We are constantly running to relationships that we are not being seen, we're not being heard, and the love that we're looking for, the understanding that we're looking for, we're not getting it. So according to shamanism, shadows are the part of us that we do not see or we don't want to see, we don't want to acknowledge, and we don't want to accept. So basically, it all comes to our childhood. How many times, let's look back in our childhood and see how many times we have been wrong for who we were. We have been wrong for the way we act or the way we behaved. And then that would be giving us a pretty good guidelines on how and when our shadows has been created. So according to shamanism, the past lives, as we see in many light workers, healers, that they are very afraid on facing their shadows and really being who they are, because for many light workers, as I said, and healers, in their previous past lives, they have been crucified, or they have been killed, or they have been judged and they kill them or something. Some traumas happen. And because we have that in our blueprint, this lifetime we cannot really be who we are. We cannot be the light that we are. And basically, we play it really small. How many of you guys are light workers or healers or empaths who are living your lives really small? You're afraid to be who you truly are. You feel that it is not safe for you to shine. Tell me yes or no. How many of you guys are feeling that is not really safe for you to play it big, to own your strengths and your talents, and to be who you really are? So what I'm saying is that if you have experienced this in your past lives and you weren't able to overcome it, you have carried that fear into this lifetime. If now in this lifetime you only want to deal with it with your mind, you're going to miss a lot of it. It's not going to be completed. Your shadows will not really be overcoming in all different levels. You might be able to touch on some part, but it's not going to be complete. There are some traces that's going to be still lingering there and is going to be showing up. But since you don't see it, as we all know, if I don't see something, I'm not able to acknowledge it, to work on it, to remove it, and to release it. So the first step is, what's going on there? Okay. So moving away from these past life things, now you want to say, okay, so now I have worked on my shadows. By the way, this is the practice that we all want to work on. From today on, what you guys want to do, you want to start journaling. You want to revisit your past, and you want to pay attention to how many times in your childhood you were judged for who you were, for an aspect of your personality. How many times were you guys judged by who you were? Are you aware of it? How many times? Have you ever journaled your past to see how many times in your childhood you were wrong for who you were? You were judged for your actions, and you weren't accepted for who you were. When you're talking, I feel I am great. Yeah, but that's not a remedy, Sahar. When I'm talking, you feel good, and then what happened when the life is over? That's not really working deep on it. Actually, until 18 years old. Okay, so yeah. Now, how do we spot these shadows? The first step is projection. Are you guys all familiar with projection? I have been judged too. Everybody has been judged, Lovey. Everyone has been judged. But the question is, am I aware of when and how it started? How do we spot the shadow? The first step is projection, guys. It's not scary, Lovey. It's not scary. What you want to know is dealing with our shadows, seeing it, acknowledging it, accepting it. It's not scary. The scary part is when you don't want to own it. Because if we don't own our shadows and become okay with it, what happens is that not accepting the shadow part is the part that is haunting us for the rest of our lives. And I tell you why. I give you an example. Why is it so important to deal with my shadows? Have you ever seen or been or known someone who is really kind, loving, generous, wholeheartedly, and at time, in a splash of a second, this person turns into a monster? Or this person is acting so out of character of who she or he is. And then you get surprised. This happens almost all the time in relationship, right? What happens? This loving soul all of a sudden act out so out of character, throwing tantrum, and it becomes so angry because this person hasn't worked on his shadow. The more we run away from our shadow, the bigger the shadow becomes, the most it will show us in our lives. So when you see someone is acting so out of character, step back, don't get involved, don't act or react. Get back, breathe, come to your awareness, and acknowledge the shadow part of this person who hasn't worked on is showing up at time out of control of this character. Not working on our shadows is kind of like two different entities who are inside of us, and they're both acting and reacting individually of one another. Because if I haven't recognized my shadow, how would I work on it? Since you don't want to see it and you want to avoid it, the shadow eventually will get bigger and bigger, and it becomes more and more out of your control. That's why it's so important to work on our shadows. So let's get back to how do we spot our shadows. Let's say that you had a really hard relationship with one of your parents, your mom or your dad, and you hated everything about your parents. They are so disconnected, they're not feeling, they're so emotionless, they never hug you, they never express their love to you, and you get to really hate them. But guess what, guys? Projection is now whatever you don't like about someone else is your shadow. If you think that your father has always put you down, it's not about your father or it's not about somebody out there, is your shadow that's projecting itself into the other character. And until you recognize that whatever actions or behaviors that I don't like about someone else is my shadow part, and start owning it and start working on it, you just putting on label on another character that is not going to help them and is not going to help you. See what I mean? So this is projection. As your parents from your childhood has projected their point of view or their beliefs onto you, now at this time, as grown up, we're starting to project these different characters in our movie. We start to judge them. We start to disagree with them. But what I really want you to get is right now, there is no one out there. Everything is being created by your mind, ego. So everything that you dislike about another character, know that it's your shadow. Thank you. The second part on spotting our shadows are the emotional triggers. Have you ever really got so deep to see how and where your emotions are being triggered? Guys, I'm not getting join requests right now. I'm sorry. You gotta wait it out because I have so much to cover. So unless you're a psychologist, coaches, shamans, healers, I can join you on this live, guys. You gotta wait it out. So let's check with what are our emotional triggers. Let me give you an example. Many years ago, when I was with my Norwegian boyfriend that I told you. At the beginning, whenever we met with other people, I would see that wherever he's at, there's a lot of women around him. So the first time I saw that, because my ego has been so huge that I have always been noticed and getting a lot of attentions from others. But now here I am with my Norwegian boyfriend, and all of a sudden he's getting all the attentions. Where did my attention go? So the first time that I noticed this, my emotions of jealousy was triggered. Someone else is stealing my attention. So I could have acted out through that emotion and just went and, I don't know, pulled him over or started a fight or something else. But instead, I pulled back. And I said, what is being triggered in me right now? I recognized that I was jealous. And then I asked myself, where is this jealousy coming from? Somebody or those women are going to take my lover away from me. I'm going to lose. So it's the feeling of lost. And then by losing him, I'm going to experience abandonment issue. Woo! Major issue, right? So when I observe the emotional trigger and I sit with it long enough to realize that the way my mind or my brain is translating it, my boyfriend getting a lot of attention from other women, I might be losing him, and then I'm going to experience abandonment issue again, and it's going to be so painful. Then I ask myself a key question. Are these true? And at that moment, I made a decision. For this relationship to work, I have to overcome my jealousy. And I did it. I'm not saying it's easy. It wasn't easy, but I managed to disconnect the association of my mind, how it had put this thing together. Feeling of loss, abandonment issue, pain. I managed to disconnect all of this. And I know him, for us being in a crowd, I didn't connect him getting a lot of attention to any of those things that my mind was telling me. Yes. The third part, guys, after emotional trigger is repeating patterns. What are the repeating patterns? You get into a relationship, and the person that you're getting into a relationship with is not putting you up there. You're not his or her priority. After the second, third, or even couple of months, this person will start ghosting you. Suddenly he's not responding to your texts, or is not calling you, or not messaging you, or asking you to see you again. What are the repeating patterns? What situation keeps showing itself over and over and over and over again? Are you aware? What situation, what patterns are repeating itself? Whatever repeating itself is knocking, hello, this is the shadow. It's not about someone else. Again, it's a part of my shadow that I need to see, acknowledge, accept. Yes. After you get to this stage, now you have to be aware of your shadow parts. And before you acting out, you have to slow down. You have to pull back. And don't let your shadow act out on behalf of you. This is really hard too. You need to slow yourself down enough to recognize what the shadow is planning to do and hold yourself back not to do that. So we all need to ask ourselves 3 questions. Are you all with me? I can't repeat that again, Lovey. You have to listen to the live again, hon. Three main questions. What do I dislike about myself? What do I judge about myself? And what do I fear? Can you repeat that? Come on, fast. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. What are the 3 parts that you need to work on, or 3 questions that you need to ask yourself? Write it down. 3 questions. What do I dislike about myself? What or where do I judge myself? What do I fear? This is not something that these questions are not something that I ask myself once and I start journaling and I'm done and it's done and finished. This is something that needs for all of us to integrate, to sit in it, get deep. What do I dislike about myself? What do I judge? Yes. And what do I fear? These are major, major questions. What do I dislike about myself? That was one of them. What do I fear? Yeah. It's a little deeper than self-esteem, Lida. We got to dive in a little deeper. Hello, lovely Canon. The next part is the main part. How do we work on our shadows? Tell me, guys, how do you think we can work on our shadows? Any idea? I'm waiting I'm waiting. How do we work on our shadows? My judgments are so deep. Okay. Is that a belief? Who has acknowledged this, that my judgments are so deep? Does it have to be deep? I write all of my fears. Good. Main part, how are we working on our shadows? Yes. No, I want to know, how do you work on your shadows? EFT? Okay. EFT or tapping is one way to work on your shadows. Go within. Okay. What else, guys? How do we work on our shadows? I write all of my fears, shame, all my current, constant, my problems. I write my feelings, self love, being aware of them, observe them, and let them go. Ho'oponopono. Yes. What else, guys? You just ignore them? Fabulous! That's the best recipe. Let's just ignore our shadows and our feelings. I'm being sarcastic, as usual, being so insensitive. That's who I am. Sometimes crying. Okay. Okay. What else? Led us to feel. Okay. Feel. Accept them. Very good, Nafis. That's a part of it. Yes. Yes. Forgive ourselves. Good point. Sit on it for a moment. Okay. So the main part is, guys, when you are at a place that you're starting to see and acknowledge your shadow parts, whatever you dislike, now it's major, major, major that you do not judge them. Can I get a judge from all of you? The main part is, now that I have been brave enough and put myself first to dig in a little deeper into all aspects of the layers of my ego mind, now that I have gone through this process and I came here, the main point is that I do not judge them. Can you give me some example? Yes, Lavi. Let's say that you're sitting. Let's take the jealousy again. Let's say that I haven't overcome my jealousy and I'm jealous towards my partner. Let's say that you're going somewhere and your partner is paying a lot of attention to a beautiful woman, or your wife or girlfriend or whatever is paying a lot of attention to another guy. So the jealousy comes up. And once you're sitting in now you're in this state that you want to work on your shadow and the jealousy comes up. Do not ever start telling your shadow that, oh my God, you should be better than this. This is where we truly go wrong. I should be better. I should be wiser. I shouldn't be throw away all the shoulds. shoulds are always troublesome, right? Do not, and I mean do not, try to give a reason why you should not be that, feel that, act that, and react this way. Stop and drop this part. So the recipe is, guys, once I'm dealing with my shadows and they're coming up, we're going to fully accept it, integrate it. Remember the three sources of energy, guys? Stagnation, circulation, integration. Now, this is the part where you're integrating the shadow. You're giving it full respect, love, acceptance, and you're coming from a place of absolute no judgment. So if your shadows, you know how the shadows are, guys. As we're walking, and our shadows could be on top, could be on the side, could be in the back. You're not paying much attention to it. But that depends on where the sun is shining, what angle the sun is shining on you, that's creating or casting the shadow. But at the majority of time, we are not conscious enough to see the shadow, right? So the shadow has been ignored for many, many years. Now we are acknowledging the shadow. It doesn't matter if the shadow is in front or back or this side or that side. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you acknowledging the shadow, you bringing it in, and now you're shining the light on the shadow, on that light that you're sending to the shadow. That light is emanating love, acceptance, unconditional love to that part that you disowned, and you were scared, and you were running away. And as I have always said, love is the highest vibration. Love and light works together. So whenever we are projecting or sending love to anything, that would totally transfer the energy. And you have heard it from me before. Darkness, first of all, I'm experiencing darkness. The darkness is there for my mind to realize this is dark and this is light, the duality of everything. So the darkness is not a bad thing unless I'm judging the darkness. So the darkness is here to show me that everything in life is working in duality. And once I start not judging the darkness as good or bad, I'm just shining the light on darkness, the darkness will disappear. But if you start running away from your shadow, what happens then, guys? If you're running away from your shadow, the shadow will run with you. You can never catch it. The more you run away from your shadow aspect, parts of you that you don't love and you don't want to own, the more the shadow gets bigger and bigger and bigger. This is why you want to embrace your shadows, fully accept them. Love, compassion. Love and compassion to all those aspects. And then from here, once the shadow has been seen, heard, acknowledged, felt, unconditional love, no judgment, fully acceptance, the shadow will disappear. Okay. Are you all with me? So give me the recipe for releasing the shadow. Let me see if you all got it. Let me tell you guys why it's crucial to work on our shadows. Because if we don't work on our shadows and the shadow is acting out on our behalf, there are two entities. One is whoever I think I am in mind and ego, and the other one is shadow. Two energies are working at the same time. So I'm going back again. The more I'm running away from my shadow, the more I don't want to see it, I don't want to acknowledge, I don't want to deal with it, the bigger the shadow becomes. Now, this shadow has its own energy field. And through its energy field, the way the shadow is working on your behalf, the energy that your shadow is carrying on or holding on to is going out there. And as we all know, universe is energy field. So the universe is just a huge mirror that's reflecting back to me what energy am I sending out. And the universe doesn't do anybody a favor. The universe doesn't give or doesn't take away. The universe says, here's the mirror. Look through the mirror, see what you like, express and feel and create more of that energy, and see what you don't like. Don't run away from it. Hold it, own it, embrace it, bring the light to it, and change the energy. So oftentimes people don't, according to law of attraction, where does law of attraction goes wrong, guys? When in your less than 5% consciously you dream and you have so many goals and ideas and you want all of these goodies with less than 5% energy. On the contrary, more than 95%, it's being created in your subconscious mind, the agendas that your subconscious mind has, the shadow side that has been created by your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind, your shadows are sending out all this wrong vibe out there, and the mirror is just picking up because the shadow in a way I can say that has been ignored for so many years, that has become bigger and bigger and bigger, and the shadow is projecting out that energy of everything that you dislike, that you don't want, And the universe is just matching that back to you. So throw away the law of attraction until you work on this. Are you guys with me? Is this too information too intense? Or everyone is getting it right now? Let's take a deep breath. Let us digest this information. Yes, great. The most important part is how to work on our shadow. Hamid Zadeh Kamirjan, yes, we all have shadows, but they are hidden and you have to slow down and recognize them. Then you can watch them. Yeah, you have to watch this video many times, guys. Yes, please do so. Shadow is shadow and will getting bigger when the light is back. What? Shadow is shadow and will get bigger when the light is back of us. That's not what I said, Lovey. This is not what I said. I said shadow will get bigger if you ignore it or if you run away from it. The way to deal with the shadow is to see it. How can you see this video again? This video will be here, love, and also is going to be on YouTube. I'm also live on YouTube. So you can watch it on YouTube. Sudi Burnett English is my English YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my English YouTube channel, please do so, Sudi Burnett English. All the lives and posts and stories and reels are also on my YouTube. So you can always have access to it. But for this to resonate with you, you really need to sit down with a notebook and a pen, start listening to it paragraph by paragraph, stop the video, write it down, and then sit in it for a few minutes to digest it. Digestion takes time, guys. And our digestive tracts are not operating all the same. Some of us are a good digester. The information come, boom, got it, digested, able to be used. Some of us have, how can I say, a little harder digestion. So for the one who recognizes that the digestion is slow, I need to put more time and effort. Thank you. Like you. Yeah. Anybody thought caught silence? There we go, darling. That would be always a recipe to move you guys to a higher space of consciousness. That exercise is here to stay. You don't need my phone number, Lovey. Just send a message and they will get back with you via DM or comments. What would you need my number for? Yes. Working on it, yes, is going to take a long time. But let me ask you something. Would you rather to spend some time to really get deep into all aspects of your shadows and clear it and be released for the rest of your life? Or would you think that, oh boy, this is going to take a long time? So why don't I suffer for the rest of my life, being reactive to events, people, situations, mess up one relationship after another relationship because I don't have the time to work on my shadows? What would you choose, guys? Tell me. You are all extremely intelligent, so tell me. Would I be ready if you DM me? DM me and see what happens, Lovey. Mhm. Yes, obviously, you want to find out the root problem. I prefer to accept pain and heal them. Thank you very much. I mean, isn't this the reason why our soul has brings over and over the part of us that hasn't been healed for us to have another chance to heal them? Yes, Lovey, I'm not sure if you have DM me and I haven't responded back. Try it again. Try it again. I'm sure you're going to be responded. Okay. So this is the plan. This is the plan that our soul is bringing different part, like the exams that we weren't able to pass. Our soul is bringing it back again, and once is giving us another chance to work on it and deal with it. Sounds like they are a lot. Who's judging, Lovey? And why does it matter? Sounds like it's a lot of shadow aspects, right? Okay. So I'm sitting in, I don't have to get rid of everything and deal with all the parts myself. The first part would be that I be patient, guys. Patience, right? You haven't accommodated all of these at one spot. You have gathered these shadows life after life after life after life. And you don't have to clear it out right now, next year, or whatever. Be patient and deal with one thing at a time. But make sure that you're looking through your childhoods and see all those parts that you weren't accepted for who you were. When were you wrong? When did they change your program? When did they decoded you and insert wrong codes in your system? You got to go back and clear those. My boyfriend got sick for a long time and he doesn't get better. It's just a flu, but has taken a long time. Okay. That's not a question for here, darling. We're talking about shadow works. How does the shadow itself come into being? Hamid Raza, I think, Lovey, you have missed the beginning because I have explained where does shadow start in your childhood. So please watch this live a couple of times. You're on YouTube and you can watch it a few times. And as usual, it's a lot of information and it might be hard to digest everything right away. So you want to be patient, you want to give it time, and you want to know that it's worth it. Like I said, guys, if you don't work on your shadows, if you don't fully accept everything, dark, light, and as you all know, what makes something light or dark, what makes something good or bad, what's the difference between an angel or evil? It's all going through the lens of ego mind. So the practice is that I do not judge. Everything that comes to my projection, instead of judging it, if you take away the judgment, then you're switching to your heart space. Coming through your heart space is totally a different lens. Through your heart space, everything is being accepted. There's no need to change. You are who you are, and through your heart space, you don't need to change. You're not broken. Nothing is bad. Through heart space, we're just embracing everything. And whatever comes through our heart, since it's going through a lens of being fully accepted, it is what it is. Love everything that arises. Love everything that arises. This is the lens of our heart. And when we fully are coming from this space of heart, we love everything that arises. Nothing is good or bad. There's no angel nor evil. There's no heaven or earth. From the heart space, everything is translate as love. Would you like to be in that space? I have experienced both sides, guys. The ego mind side made me suffer for many, many, many years, being unhappy, having issues with people, going from one relationship to another. I'm bored of this, I'm bored of that, I'm bored of this. And then at the point I came to the moment that I realized there is another place to be. It's the heart. Since I have experienced both sides, I can tell you the heart is a safer, better place. And that doesn't mean that I am always coming from my heart space. Because as I told you last week, spirituality, awakening, higher consciousness is not a destination to arrive. And once you arrive, it's done. I arrived. Ding, ding. No. We are going through consciousness in and out and in and out and in and out. I told you in my book, Awakening Not Allowed. If you haven't read that book, I would highly recommend it that you read the book, Awakening Not Allowed. In my book, I've said spirituality is spiral. Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. But you don't judge the down part and you're not judging the up part. You don't get down when it's going down and you don't get up when it's going up. You're just a traveler. You're surrendering to what is, and you're allowing a higher power to move you up and down and up and down. There's no judgment. But I have also said spirituality is not a destination. Awakening awareness is not a destination to go. It's not even a plan. Oftentimes I hear when I'm doing a private coaching session, people tell me that I want to be awake. I want to be enlightened. And I always say, you are awakened. You are enlightened. That's not a place to go. It's not a goal to become enlightened. It's only in the mind ego that even awakening or enlightenment becomes a task. But that's not a task. It's not a goal. How can I hear heart voice? When you have the ability to quiet down the thinking machine, which has always been my teaching. Cut thought silent. Who is this I? Who is thinking? Who is feeling? Separating ourselves from the character that's playing out all day. Once you start listening to that I, you will get into your heart. My angel, you are the worthiest things that I have ever had. No, Lovey, I am not the worthiest thing that you have had. Me, this I, as a projection, projecting back to you who you are. I don't exist. I am not worthiest thing you have ever had. You are the worthiest thing. You are a small part of the wholeness. That's who you are. I am only projecting back to you for you to see who you are. I appreciate that you say you love me, but it would be the greatest joy and honor for me that during my teaching, I can reflect this love back to you, that you start loving yourself as much as you love me. You got it? I love you. Loving others is good. But unless you start to love yourself fully and stop beating yourself up, loving others will not do you or them any good. Fill up your container first. Put yourself first. Am I your angel? Like I said, I'm going to have to repeat myself again. Whatever aspect you see in me is your shadow. Have you ever looked deep in your side, deep, 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 to see that you are the angel? Oh, stop it! The best teacher. I have to keep repeating myself. How can I make you guys hate me? And realize that everything that you see in me is within you. I want you to see that and to own it and to be it and to live it. That's my hope. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to end this live. And what I want to say is that I want you all to start owning, really deeply owning your power back. Whatever you have lost so far, your strength, your light, your acceptance, being and knowing that you are a superhuman, whatever you have lost, whether it's through your past lives or in this lifetime, wherever you got tricked that you are not superhuman, I want you to get it back. I want you to claim today whatever you have lost through this lifetime, through past lives, and through the years of your ancestors. I want you to claim it back now, this moment. Can you do that? Tell me yes or no. Tell me yes or no. Would you like to claim your power and your strength back? Yes or no? Would you like to let go of whatever events, action, people, whatever the story that has been going on and on and on? Would you like to let it all go? And at this moment, claim that you no longer are wishing to accept the fake you. From this moment on, you can start working on your shadows. You will embrace every aspect that your shadow has created. You will write it down, and you can ask the higher power, universe, angels, whatever you can call it. I'm willing and ready to release all this. I am embracing all this part, giving it full love and acceptance. And by the love and the acceptance of the higher power, I'm releasing it all. Take it away. Oh, because I have written a post for you yesterday. I haven't sent it yet. But it's about this 2 weeks, how Venus and Mars, the lovers of the zodiacs, are going. Oh, I have a session now. Okay, I'm going to end this live now. I'm going to end this live. Thanks for the notice. I lost time and space. Okay, the post is going to come out. I'm not going to talk about it. So love you all. I have a session. I got to go. Don't forget to listen to this live many, many times and start doing the practices. If you need further help, you can have a session, private session with me. See you all next Thursday. Love and peace. Bye-bye. Love you too. Bye-bye. Share. Okay, bye everybody. Love you all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.